What's up? Welcome to Studio Blank, the anime and manga podcast where you can find our news, views, and reviews on all things weeb every single week. It's Paul, Nate, and Tim once again for episode.
You know what's you know what we've
70?
never done before?
Introduce ourselves at the front.
No. Well, actually,
yes, that.
we have done that before, and we should do that more. Hi, I'm Nate. This is Paul.
And if you couldn't guess, that makes me Tim.
But what we did, which we've never done before, which was so good, was Paul, Nate, and Tim.
We did it. We finally did the thing. We did the thing finally.
There we go.
It only took 70 episodes.
For the
only took 70.
So for the audio listeners, because I don't actually upload this on YouTube, which I probably will this week.
Yes, we probably should.
I mean, I should. Yeah. So for the audio listeners, we are sitting in the actual order that we introduce ourselves in, which is kind of funny because we never are. But it makes sense, and we're back. It's Studio
Hold
Blank.
on, I just realized if we're going to be doing it that way, we're doing it wrong because we're an anime podcast, which means it should be from left to right, not right to left.
No.
Reverse what you just said, but yes.
Yeah, no. You read right to left, Paul.
Right to left, not left to right.
So
You said left to right, not right to left.
And Paul, what we are experiencing is right
Paul,
to left.
okay.
What they are experiencing is left to right, which is how the brain processes it. But we're in the correct order.
So everything is actually just backwards for me right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what mirrors do.
We are.
We are in the mirror dimension.
Oh,
Those
no,
letters
Strange.
are backwards.
Hey, chat. Hope y'all are doing well. Jada,
We are here
that
to talk about.
RPG chick.
We're so here to talk about not anime.
We're
Yeah,
actually going to be
this
talking
is
about
a-
a lot that's not anime this week, just because there's so much
But-
cool stuff.
All right. So I want to start with the news.
Yes,
That's
please
what
do.
we're going to start with. All right.
And for those of you who aren't watching the live show, if you come check it out, you can always see the news that we're talking about this week in the scroll at the bottom left. Otherwise, having a great time.
Jada, we're going to talk about Demon Slayer, I promise, but we need to get to the news first. Ah, God.
true.
Okay, so I want to open with the fact that Belle. This film is absolutely gorgeous. I'm so excited about it. I really want to go see it. I have been meaning to go see it all week.
I was gonna say, have you seen it yet? Because
I've been terrible about going to see it. I want to go see it.
I'm very interested in it. It's a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an anime Beauty and the Beast.
I'm here for it.
And
Yeah, I mean every anime version, I feel like, because if we're honest, and I'm not saying this to slight Disney in any way, but Disney fucking cleans up their storybook tales.
Yes,
yeah.
Very, very much.
all
Like
the time.
a lot. Like every single like fantasy story like book that you've heard, like Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast. They're all awful stories.
I mean, like,
Beauty and the Beast, she dies. She gets eaten by the Beast. In Cinderella,
listen, just go read them all.
Cinderella, her stepsisters cut off their toes so that their feet fit inside the glass slipper. It's all awful.
nobody read Hans Christian Andersen for actual Hans Christian Andersen. They just
Or the fucking Brothers Grimm.
or the Brothers Grimm.
Like, they just
nothing was
didn't.
ever good. It was like there's a reason they're called the Brothers Grimm.
No, yeah, it's because it was their
actually-
name, but there's a reason that Grimm came from it.
Yeah, I was gonna say their name was Grimm. This is something I learned in my German history class.
Yeah, it's like when things are looking grim.
Yeah.
Because they're appearing as they showed up in those stories so long ago. But
Yeah.
Tim, continue.
So, Mamoru Hosoda, absolute genius director, screenplay writer. This is honestly, I think it's his masterpiece. This is his. He will never top this film, and I'm okay with that. And I think everyone who sees this film will be okay with that. This film was, from the clips that I've seen, is probably the most stunning visually that we've gotten all year, and that we will get.
Wow.
That gets me going. I'm really interested.
I love this version of the story. I love the fact that it takes place in virtual reality. It's
I
so,
didn't know that it was an isekai.
it is and it isn't.
Yeah, it's like I'm
yeah.
assuming full dive-esque.
Yeah, it's kind of like that where
The story happens in the virtual in the other world, but reality still takes place.
there are portions where we are in reality. There are portions where we're in VR.
Mhm.
And it's beautiful. I think it looks awesome. I'm super excited. I've been meaning to go see it. I just wanted to drag you guys along, and so we'll have to find time to do that.
I'm
this
super
week.
Yes.
you know what that just reminded me of that I forgot about and like had no reason to remember?
What?
The Sword Art Online movie.
Yeah, we've been
yeah.
We've been talking about going to see that too, and
No, not the good new one. The old one.
Oh, I was like,
That one, the one that came out and they were like, yeah, it's an AR. And it's like, yeah.
When did this happen?
This is 2017, I think.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't.
It was a movie that was an original story that like introduced their own characters, and it was like an AR game, and it was all super fucking weird.
Yeah.
And, like they pulled the super hardcore like sword art like plot armor. Kirito got sword skills in real life.
yeah.
Like they really pulled out all the stops for that one. I hate to tangent. I'm sorry.
No, it's
just,
fine.
That's just what I thought of because it was like the movie with the VR and the reality.
And no, that's totally fine because what I was gonna do is I was gonna stay on movies anyways.
Oh, beautiful.
So another movie that I'm actually very excited about, based purely on its concept.
Mm-hmm.
This is focused on Eve, the singer of Kai Kai Katan, which was JJK's Open.
Yes, I saw this.
Adam by Eve, alive in animation. So it is partially live action. Some of it is animated.
Oh,
and it's coming out on Netflix on March 15th. It's focused around Eve and her career. It's got some of her biggest hits in it. It has Kai Kai Katan redone.
Ooh.
As a special animation sequence. It has some of her new music. And this is kind of her way of going, this is who I am, world. Please give me attention. And I think it's going to be great. Studio Kara is animating it, and
I think it'll be a better live action animation mix than Space Jam: A New Legacy.
to be fair, that's not a high bar, but
Hey, at least they won't trip over it.
exactly. I'm really excited about this. I think it could be really, really cool. And if this is the way that we find a way that live action and anime can work, this could be a very good bridge to like make things work again.
Listen, I think there's a lot of ways to make animation or live action versions of animated products work. I think that people are just continually going about it the wrong way. And if you quote me on that later, I'll bring up the Halo trailer.
You know what? That's very fair.
So I want to say, since I frequent, singer musician kind of YouTube, there are plenty of really good moments where singers reintroduce or redub or redo like a live version of a song. Namely, I think one of my favorite series is it's called First Take.
Yeah.
And I think semi-recently, like a couple months ago, Lisa, who did our favorite Demon
I
Slayer
did
things.
actually watch this specific video.
Right, and so I'm hoping we kind of get something like that.
I would expect,
or even fully produced, if that makes sense.
Based on what was said in the article, it seems like some of it will be like it'll be fully produced, but it'll be more on that First Take style where like Kai Kai Katan is being, I think it's being re-recorded or has been re-recorded, so that it can be a focal point as opposed to being just the opening of a show that she did.
That's good.
Which, if that's the case, that's really fucking sweet.
Listen, if I have a feeling like if she does this and it goes well, she's just gonna be the next Lisa, which is fine because Lisa's been dominating the anime opening market for the last 10 years.
Yeah, I would love to see more.
Did Lisa debut with Crossing Field?
I think so. I think that was Lisa's debut. I could be wrong.
Let me get back to sword art for a second. Actually,
so, it's just funny to me because that just happens in music to me though. Like if you listen to like 60-70% of like the most popular EDM music, it's like the same two singers.
Like, the problem is you brought up EDM, in which case it's the same two songs. Listen, this is an EDM, but I'm a really, really big fan of what's the band name?
Go ahead.
Why can't I think of the band name?
Do you know the song? I probably
Pittsburgh. No intro. You know.
No,
You know.
I don't know.
You know.
I could pull it up. It's in my liked on Spotify.
I know. It's on my list too. Why don't I know this?
It hurts me inside.
Why have I forgotten this? Amity Affliction. Thank you, Foley.
Good lord.
Amity Affliction is a great band, and I love them, but they have two songs, and that's it. And they're the same exact song with different words, and they just change the words around a little bit. They sound exactly the same. It's a great song, and I put it on my playlist. But damn, it is two songs. Like,
at least that doesn't happen to us here in anime. We get a lot of different openings.
All right. With that, I'm gonna move on to something way more important.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Jujutsu Kaisen 0
Yes.
film teases important announcement after selling 7.5 million tickets in 38 days. So, the official
that's a lot of
website
tickets.
revealed, literally today, that the film's first post-opening stage greeting event at Tokyo's Toho Cinemas, Hibiya, on February 12th will have the 4 main cast members. So,
Okay.
Yuta, Rika, and our Gojo and Ghetto.
Yes, Ghetto.
I had to tiny brain. There to do a live special announcement that is JJK themed. My bet, and you can hold me to this.
I just want you to know the last
this is
time.
season 2.
I just want you to know the last time this happened, they announced Stone Ocean. So
Yeah, this is the season 2 announcement.
like that is
It's another season announcement. I would like to point out too.
This is the Shibuya arc.
so here's the thing. There is one other possibility.
Yeah.
And that is that the manga's ending.
I don't think it could be that.
And
Given the
I'm
latest chapter.
I'm not saying it would end like within the month. This would be like a announce it for we have a plan. The ending is happening.
Yeah.
That's the only other thing that I could conceivably see it being. But the movie's already been announced. The movie's already fucking out in Japan.
Yeah.
The TV series was a banger. The manga's already selling like crazy. The only thing they could possibly announce would be season 2.
Yeah, I think feasibly
And bringing
their only announcement. is season
Yuta.
2. Yeah.
Bringing the Yuta's VA over would be perfect to be like, hey, and now he's here, and now look, here's our trio of primary cast members. Then they're here as well. Like,
Yeah.
Is
Because Yuta does not appear
until
a
like
lot
season
of
2.
season 2.
I was
He
about to
wo-
say
he-
I don't
he
think he
won't-
appears a lot in
He will not
Shibuya.
appear a lot in Shibuya, but he does appear.
Yeah.
Even regardless, it's still a passing of the torch.
Yeah, this
And
is the
like-
moment of like, hey,
I was gonna say
we're
even
here.
if he doesn't appear, his appearances are quite impactful. Like
Yeah.
every single and throughout the series, anytime Yuta shows up, it's a oh like oh something's happening. Okay, cool. You know,
when
so-
Yuta appears in the manga, shit's going down.
Yeah.
Shit's always going.
It's going down,
Yeah,
and an early around.
Well, I
very
think
early
for
around.
for people who don't know, I want to point out Yuta appearing is as if Gojo is appearing because he is the only sorcerer to really
He could
stand on the same pedestal.
if Yuta had the 6 eyes, Yuta even with Gojo having 6 eyes.
I just have a blue eyes.
Yeah. If Yuta had the 6 eyes on top of his current ability, he would not only slap up Gojo, he would clap up Gojo and send Gojo to the next dimension.
Damn.
I would point Yuta with his
Yoda.
just Yoda.
Yoda,
Yeah,
he
could
literally
do-
is Yoda.
Yuta,
Mm,
Yuta,
He's short.
I think-
sorcery.
if he had the six eyes, he could solo the burst.
He would solo everybody.
Like, and that's saying
That's
with
not a question.
full power
Ye-
Sukuna, like full power Gojo, like that's how borked this kid is.
I'm watching Nate.
Oh, sorry. So
It's a great bit. It's a great bit. I'm just really content with the fact that they're gonna break 10 billion yen this week.
yay, that's
like,
good. We like to see that.
They did a 500 million last week alone. And Oricon's like, yeah, no, there's
Dude.
no way they're gonna miss it because they're at 9.8 as of the start of this week.
Yeah, dude.
That's before it even hits US.
With 0% of the tax fraud that Demon Slayer committed. How crazy. Actually, I feel like I should amend that statement because we don't know if they committed tax fraud
Yeah,
yet.
I was gonna say we don't know if Mappa has committed tax fraud. Let's not make the comment that they haven't committed tax fraud. If
Let's not like jump ahead of ourselves.
You gotta wait like 4 months. You know, something
Yeah,
like that.
we'll give it a little while. If nothing comes out, then we'll revisit the no tax fraud. But speaking of companies
Hey
committing
kids,
tax fraud,
don't commit tax fraud.
that's just a segue. I'm just telling him
I
to
was
pull up
gonna
the
say.
next thing. They're not actually committing tax fraud.
okay, so for anyone in our listeners that you're like, I don't want to pay for my manga. I don't know where to go to read it. if you're
Hey, you, yes, you, I know you, you've been watching anime, you've been seeing that cool stuff on Toonami, that's right, Cowboy Bebop, but you've been wondering, where can I read this? I've heard so much about it, but all of the weird kids at school are the one reading it, and they pay like $80 for 5 books. That's crazy. Do you want to get in on the action? You too can, by going to
Shueisha's Manga Plus app.
Shueisha's Manga Plus app is releasing, how many series?
Okay, so I want to go through this. Ready? So,
Shueisha's Manga Plus app is releasing.
this list is ridiculously long.
I know,
I'm
I
not
was
going-
just,
okay, so
I was trying to get
realistically speaking, Shueisha, as their 3rd anniversary for their Manga Plus app, which is an extension of their Shonen Jump app, has decided that this list of titles that I will quickly go over, you can read every chapter of each of these serialized series once for free.
That means that you get to read it for free as long as you don't take a break halfway through and walk away from your computer and close the tab. Because then you'd have to pull it up on a gray website, and we don't support that. But this is free from the publishers.
Yes, this is free from the publisher. All you have to go do is go to your app store and fucking download the app.
Hey,
That's
can you give me a small taste? What are some of these? I feel like there's an upcoming anime.
how about I just start crushing them? Ready?
Yeah, crush it. Crush it.
One Piece, My Hero, JJK, Black Clover, Dr. Stone, Mission Yozakura Family, Undead Unluck, which I fucking adore, Mashal Magic and Muscles, which I have talked about on this show being an absolute banger. You should watch it. You should read it.
Read it.
Ayakashi Triangle, which Paul and I started reading. It was very funny.
It's hilarious.
Magu-chan God of Destruction, not one of my favorites, but funny. Me and Roboco, High School Family, Kosekai Kazoku, very good. Sakamoto Days, fucking awesome. The Elusive Samurai, great. Witch Watch, very cute. Blue Box, also really fucking cute. PPPPP, awesome, very good music
I feel
manga.
like a bunch of cats just were like, what?
Ayashimon, the one that I talked about literally like, like 3 weeks ago?
Yes.
Something like that.
About just be a mobster. Fight the yokai. I don't fucking remember.
Are you
Protect
talking
me.
about Sasuke Bisco? Saki?
No, I'm talking about Ayashimon. This is the one where it's cool. I'm a human that can punch the ghosts.
No, I know. I was just making the joke about the lobster thing.
Tim, I'm going to be completely honest with you. About 5 of the things that you have brought up and said that you've talked about before, I feel like I've never heard them in my entire life, which makes it so much more entertaining for me on the couch.
Okay. Protect Me, Shugamaru. Dororan, which is very fresh.
Doro Hidoro is a spin-off anime or manga?
No.
That's a joke. I'm lying, but it's because they sound similar.
If you want to read Boruto, you can read Boruto. You want to read Super? Read fucking Super. World Trigger? It's there. Seraph of the End? It's there. Twin Star Exorcist? It's there. Shoha
Hit me with
Shoten.
5 more,
I
and then let's move on.
I'm almost Paul. I am.
Okay.
I literally have less than 10 left.
Okay.
He's working on it.
Okay.
Dandadan, Spy X Family,
There it is.
Ghost Reaper Girl, Kaiju number 8.
Kaiju number 8.
I've seen so many.
Kaiju
things
number
about
8
it.
is so fucking good. You
I
should
need
read
to.
it.
That was really popping off. I would highly recommend people pick it up. Not
Um,
because I've read it, but because I've heard a lot of people talking about it.
This is not what I'm gonna read because it's fucking lewd. Hokkaido gals are super adorable. This one is cute. You
Wait,
should read it.
What's that lewd one? Can you send that to me?
I will send it to you.
Thank you.
Ron Komonohashi, Deranged Detective. 'Tis time for torture, princess. Torture is in quotations. Let that be. I have no idea what it is. I have not read that one. Don't Blush, Sekime-san. That one is the least lewd.
That one sounds like it's gonna be a fucking "Don't Bully Me" Nagatoro.
It kind of is.
Yeah, except like role reversal.
Diamond in the Rough. Even if you slit in my mouth, and that is the correct title. Slit. I have not read it. I just know that that's the title. Chojin X, which is a very cool like supernatural like it's from the Tokyo Ghoul mangaka. Just
Gotcha.
fucking read it.
Tokyo Ghoul mangaka is kind of fire.
And Blue Exorcist and Heart Gear, when they come back from hiatus, are all going to be on that list.
And yes, Kat, as you put in the chat, this entire section is lovingly titled "Just Read the Manga."
Yeah.
Because it is free, it is available. Shueisha publishes a lot of stuff, and we appreciate them. Shueisha is the U.S. publishers of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Whoa, what? He likes them? Crazy. But so yeah, would highly recommend if you're interested in reading manga. There's a lot of free options there. Just even the shows that are airing right now that you can go read if you want to. If you want to read 1,000 chapters of One Piece, you can do that for free. If you want to like go and pay for all those chapters of One Piece, that comes out to like $500, like fucking paperback.
Yeah.
I'm assuming 10 for like 3 or 4 chapters.
Give me a sec. So on the Shonen
Math
Jump app,
pending.
we'll do this really quick. On the Shonen Jump app, you can read 100 chapters a day, of all of the serialized stuff that's in there, for $2.99 a month. It would take you 11 days to get caught up, with just One Piece alone.
But if you're like me and you have an insatiable hunger and you're like, wow, I need more, then
The
just,
Manga Plus app
yeah,
is
you can
this
just
deal
keep reading.
actually works because it does not limit how much you can read. So
Exactly.
you can just go out and read all of One Piece in like a 24-hour period, and you can be caught up. And you know what? You can be the guy on Twitter telling people that One Piece is good and that you should just read the fucking manga. You can be that person if you want to be.
So-
You
that person.
can
hold
be
on.
Tim.
Hold on.
I don't tell you to.
I
do
have a
that.
question.
Nobody in the-
I have a serious question.
I have
Yes.
a serious answer.
Should I try and read all of One Piece in
No.
24 hours and see
No,
if it's physically possible?
No.
Okay, wait, that's a YouTube video idea though.
No, exactly.
That is
That-
like
that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so
no,
you're
no sleep till One Piece done.
that's a stream.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just
That's a
saying.
stream.
I'm
Th-
just
that-
Oh
saying.
my god, I
that's
want to do
studio-
that so bad now.
That's Studio Blind content. It'd be
That
fucking
that is
hilarious.
an awful
That's-
idea.
Listen, Mr. Beast told me once that all the stupid ideas that I have, I should just say, just in case it makes
But
a great YouTube
so here's
video.
the thing. Here's the thing: is Toei would probably definitely strike us for even thinking about One Piece.
I think.
Oh, by the way, as an unrelated note, totally not Mark.
Oh, I sent that to you. The other
Yeah,
day.
yeah. There's been an update on the Totally
Yes.
Not Mark situation. If you are unaware, Totally Not Mark is a YouTuber who posted critiques and reviews of One Piece and Dragon Ball, as well as many drawing tutorials and other related content, character breakdowns, a lot of stuff, not actual like reaction content, which is what usually gets flagged. 150 of his videos got taken down overnight. Because of YouTube's weird system and because this isn't technically a legal system, he had no proper recourse. YouTube has reached out to him and made it easier. His videos are mostly back up now, and they are just unavailable in the systems that in the regions where they would be legally unavailable, i.e. Japan, where that copyright law takes place. So because of this, YouTube has actually updated their systems so that they can region block.
Woo!
Which is great.
Which they
Shout out
are
to
they already had
YouTube.
region blocking, but not due to a copyright.
Yeah, and now they can sit there and you can, if something is totally fair use in every country except one or a
Well,
small region,
yeah,
you can go to YouTube and be like, hey, I need this region blocked here.
And the reason that this is so big is because Japanese IP laws are basically if you own the IP, you own it. Like you own the blood of everyone who's ever worked on it, etc. It's
Yeah.
very thorough. Anything that Totally Not Mark was doing, or a lot of the things that Totally Not Mark was doing would have been cut down. But yeah, Toei was copywriting them in an illegal way. That is not true. It's a really weird situation because Toei wasn't even copywriting them when they were claiming the videos. They were going through YouTube's copyright claim system, which doesn't even need to be in good faith, which is why it was such a messy thing.
Yeah.
Because there was no like legality around it. Now Toei was trying to overreach their copyright into foreign grounds using this, which could be seen as copywriting in illegal ways, but
Yeah.
it's all
It's all
weird fucking
complicated
mess.
international.
But that is
internet
a
law.
positive update.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
so-
a very poggers update.
I just thought of that while I was thinking about Toei suing us.
It means he keeps getting money.
Yes, it
and can
does.
keep
It-
Yeah,
doing
he-
video.
yeah,
and he can keep
actually-
supporting the people that are working for him.
and
Yes.
pay his own bills. Like that's all
Yes.
that matters.
Yep.
It was a really interesting situation to look at, though.
So we have what, 2 more pieces of news?
We don't have that many more. I will be.
We also
I will be
have some
fast.
news that's not listed on there that we are going to talk about, which is like probably a majority of our show content.
So I'm gonna cut one of the pieces because it's just no longer relevant. I don't want to talk about it. So
Fair.
quickly, the Golden Reel Awards nominates Star Wars Visions anime short The Duel for where was it? Give me a sec. Outstanding achievement in sound editing. Which I agree with. That fight was easily the best
Yep.
sounding of them by far. That episode
Yeah.
was fucking awesome.
It really was.
I
Like,
loved
this-
that one so much.
What's funny is I don't think the duel was the first one.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
the Ronin.
Yeah, that's what,
The Ronin.
that's what I was pretty sure of. I would not put that up for literally any other award.
Yeah, no, the sound design for that.
But the sound design alone in that episode, like it's funny because that episode is not like I don't like the art style enough for it to be like, wow, that's astounding. I didn't like the story enough for me to be intrigued by it that much, especially considering it is an Elseworlds
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
all of these are. But what I absolutely did love is, yeah, the sound design. They had the umbrella lightsaber, they had his samurai blade lightsaber that he pulled out and like activated like on time. There was a lot of really cool moments in this episode. Like the whole episode as a whole, it is very good.
Yeah.
I also said whole like 3 times in a single sentence.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, I'm pretty holy right now. But like it's a good episode, but I just don't think it really stands up to a lot of the other ones.
I think that's very fair. But
Yeah.
for me, like, I think it was the coolest fusion of true Japanese culture and Star Wars that we could have gotten.
Mhm.
It is not the most anime, but it is the most like historically.
It was a
themed.
very cool art style, and it was very well done. It just was my vibe at the end
Yeah,
of the day.
and like
Roman?
I know when
Yeah.
my dad and I sat down and watched it,
And that's not to say I don't
we
like
had a
the.
great time.
It's not to say I don't like that Ronin style, because I will absolutely play through all of Ghost of Tsushima with that filter on again.
Yeah, because it's
but-
great.
So good.
But like, yeah, no, it's just
So
I want to point out for my thoughts real quick too.
Mm.
That was probably one of the most unique stylizations
yes.
I think that we've seen, and I think even if we don't like put an award on it, I think the fact that the team was able to go, "Hey, we're gonna take this into this classic style, but make it sound like Star Wars,"
I think
while
that
doing that is
yeah.
an impressive feat amongst itself.
I think that them and Trigger, specifically for the Twins episode, they took it and were like, okay, we get to do Star Wars. We're going to throw it into the deep end.
yeah,
And I like I said, like, this isn't my episode. It's not my cup of tea, but it was still fucking phenomenal. I
Yeah.
still enjoyed it. And yeah, like being able to take it and throw it in the deep end and have something come out that is award winning or award nominated at least
Right.
is crazy. And that's
Well,
awesome.
And I guess the peak of the thing that I was trying to say, and you know this just from knowing how
Mm.
animation works, making the sounds feel like they're from that stylistic sense of
God.
animation and filming,
Yeah.
while not like making it still sound like Star Wars,
the
is
Foley work.
incredibly difficult.
I
just-
love Foley work. If I could pick another life, I'd choose sound designer.
Jana Vance, you are a fucking king or queen. That's the end of the discussion.
There who did it?
They're the Foley artist.
Absolutely.
Absolute fucking banger.
Foley artists have always been one of the most interesting things to me, especially in anime, because in anime there's so many weird and interesting sounds, and that's one of the reasons why, which we'll talk a little bit later, Bungie has talked a lot about how they make sounds for stuff.
Yeah.
And so like the Vex, for example, are all robots, but all of those are like lion and tiger roars that are then
Modulated, right?
what?
They're just
Modulated.
run through a filter of modulation.
Quite a few, yes.
Yeah.
But
It's
like
more than one, but yes.
it's like
It's a preset of filters, but like
they have to run through multiple preset filters, multiple sets of filters that they have created.
Yeah.
Because like
Because you have to render it out and then do it again and then render it
But
out
that's what I'm
and
saying,
and
like,
then
they
there's
have a
even
preset
some-
of
there's even
filters that they're like, this is what we need to do to make the Vex noise.
yeah,
And then you just run it through the gauntlet until it's ready.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But like and that's super cool. I've always loved Foley work. I've always loved
think-
sound design.
the thing on that note that just makes it super cool
Mhm.
is you have things where like teams will literally to quote what Bungie said in an interview at one point, they're just like, no, you're at home, we're working at home. I don't care what you have at your house. Test cool things with your sound equipment.
They use breast pumps and it fucking works.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like listen.
I don't know what to tell you.
That vidoc was very cool.
It was very cool.
Tim, we have one more piece
Yeah,
of
one more
news?
piece of
Yes,
news.
I have one more piece of news. Speaking of gray websites,
Oh no.
I love this news. I love this one.
okay, 4 Japanese publishers to sue Cloudflare for offering data services to manga piracy sites.
Which I love because it is like so there's always this argument on the internet of where's the onus, right?
Yeah.
It is the question of, are you legally responsible because you watched Sword Art Online on a gray website? Usually the answer is yes, but realistically we're just gonna shove it with a like it's meh. Is it the website's fault for hosting something? Now, in some cases, it's a lot clearer where it's like, oh, this is a gray website. This is going to constantly run specifically stuff that we don't own the rights to, but they're not the ones posting it.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, is it on the poster or the person hosting it?
Yeah, so like we'll use YouTube here as the
Yeah, YouTube's a
Yeah.
great example here.
like there is some onus on YouTube for hosting that content
Mhm.
and not taking it down properly.
Yes, and
And there's also onus on the people that are uploading copyrighted content that they do not own the rights to. And Cloudflare being one of those sites where here's our data services.
when you bring it up to Cloudflare, it weirdly becomes a lot more black and white.
Yeah.
Because it's not a question of the person running the website was unaware that this was happening. That's Twitch's excuse right now. Twitch is running the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. They are just turning a blind eye to people watching anime and copyrighted stuff on their website, and because of that, they have not shown any effort to clear it up, so no company would have a reasonable expectation that they would be cleaning it up.
Yeah.
However, YouTube has shown themselves doing that, so they kind of have to stick to it. Otherwise, lawsuits will come on a lot faster for them. YouTube's also a little more tenured in the space, I would say.
I'm curious as to how this is going to pan out, simply because the two aforementioned sites that we were talking about here with Twitch and YouTube are actual content sites.
Yes.
As opposed to Cloudflare being simply a data service site that somebody purchases and then puts what they want on it.
Well,
yeah. So I'm interested to see if it says specifically what it is.
Here's the thing is, ready? It has an explanation. So it's Kodansha, Shueisha, Shogakukan, and Katakawa. They're all together on this one, and they're seeking 400 million yen.
And these are four of the biggest, if not the four biggest companies.
Yeah, these are the four biggest publishers. So Cloudflare sites, and this is well documented, allegedly distribute about 4,000 titles.
Wow.
And receive over 300 million accesses a month. That is hundreds of millions of dollars of US of lost revenue.
Yep.
The fact that they're seeking $3.5 million in compensation is fucking mind-boggling to me.
Well, so here's the thing, is the reason that they're only requesting that much is because this is a really fucking hard case to win. Now, that's not because they're not in the right. I think that they are, personally. I think that it's a very easy for Cloudflare to look at their services, look at who's using them, and be like, yeah, maybe no. And if they don't have the systems in place, that's kind of on them. Same way it really should be for Twitch.
And here's the reason that I think they have a very good chance of winning this. Cloudflare has contracts with major piracy sites to distribute data from servers within Japan, even though the piracy sites administrators are located overseas. So what they're doing is they're doing it in the home country where IP rights are. It's yours.
Like we just said, it is the law. They own the blood, sweat, and tears of anybody who's ever touched the property.
Exactly. And so I think they'll win this in Japan super easily.
Oh, I think they win in Japan, and as long as it's a court in Japan, it should be super easy for them.
So, and the thing is they filed a motion for it in 2018 for Cloudflare to stop hosting this stuff.
That makes it more applicable. My point is going to be that ground is much easier to win it on, simply because of the way that they're describing the forwarding taking place, right? Because if it was simply Cloudflare is hosting this website, that's very, very hard for a company to go, congratulate, like a judge to say, hey, like Cloudflare, the onus is on you for simply having like a data center that hosts a site, right? As opposed to, hey, your data center is actively contracted to do this thing and send data from specifically here to here for that purpose.
So what's really interesting, and what I think this is the gateway for them to get their foothold in internet law, because the internet, for as much as we've had it our entire lives, is new as fuck. And we don't have a robust legal system to deal with the internet and all of its multitude of people using it, and different tiers of people using it, from people running websites to people running hosting services to people owning IPs to people accessing websites. And so what I think this is this is going to set a precedent for Cloudflare to have to really up their game. Otherwise, other people are going to start suing them, because even if this passes in Japan, then maybe Sony's going to take a swing at him in the US, Maybe they're going to be like, hey, there's a precedent in Japan for this, and we think that this translates to US law here, here, and here.
Yeah. There's a lot of these lawsuits.
Oh,
and no, and I mean this literally. In November, a California district court allowed Shueisha to request Google and other internet firms to disclose the operators of Japanese language pirate site Manga Bank. Shueisha had previously subpoenaed Cloudflare under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act in the US. They got him with DMCA. And here's the thing is, if they got them then, they'll get them again.
Exactly.
Like, they are going to win this wherever they take this. As long as the copyright laws are in their favor, and in this case, they are.
Listen,
See-
Japanese lawyers are very, very scary because Japanese law is fucking terrifying.
Like, they did it in New York, too. In 2019, they went after Hoshi no Romi and 3 other United States hosted websites for 93,000 scanned volumes of manga, and they won.
So first of all, I'm gonna assume that's what happened to Kiss Anime, which makes me very sad about
yes,
it.
and manga decks.
Yes, but
That's
the reason
why
I'm
both
sad
of them
about
are
that one
gone.
is because there's a bunch of stuff that I cannot find as anime anymore that was there.
Oh, okay. So the
But-
one reason that I need gray websites to exist is Bakano. That is the only reason I need gray websites to exist.
Or for them to just, I don't know, re-release Bakano.
Yeah, Funimation, please fucking.
That's my only thing. That is where I
Here's
go
the
like,
thing is
this is a problem.
Well, it's
which
like-
is I can't find.
Well, it's like-
granted, these are dumb anime that like are
Yeah.
like 15 years old.
Yeah.
That are like nobody else likes. That I was like, oh, I should watch this for fun because I found like
Well,
nobody
because
watches Chivalry of Your Lost Night anymore.
Yeah, but because nobody watched it, now nobody bought up the rights to it, and you can't find it legally anywhere. So,
Exactly.
like Bakano, for example, I think the rights for it ran out in like 2014.
Yeah.
Like Funimation owned the distribution rights to it. The whole thing's been dubbed. The dub is fucking amazing because they all use fucking like they all use 1920 Chicago gangster.
Oh, I remember
outfits.
this. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
you talking
this is
about
one of my
this. Yeah,
favorite
yeah.
shows. It's 16 episodes. It's short. It's dumb. It's fun. It's a really interesting story, but it's not legally fucking broadcast anywhere. It was one of the first anime that I was told to watch back when I was a young one, and I went on the internet and I was like, all right, I want to be a weeb. What do I watch? And someone was like, Bakano. I was
Yeah,
like,
It's just that's the frustrating part, and I'm not advocating for gray websites
we're
to
not.
exist and host problems. But
wait,
like,
I have a panel for this. I have a panel for this. Keep talking.
Okay.
here's the thing is like,
go ahead, Tim.
Oh no, I got it.
All right.
So I've been reading Omniscient Reader, and this is the panel. Uh, this is the panel. It's a panel of
yeah, no, I agree
'cause
with that.
The
100%.
main character runs into someone who had been pirating his favorite webtoon, and then
Well, oh no, they
They-
weren't
they-
pirating it.
well,
They
so
had
they were.
plagiarized
they
it.
were pirating and plagiarizing it because they weren't paying for it.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I
so they
remember
were
this now.
pirating and plagiarizing it, and so there's a section of it where he's looking at this person and he's like, pirate it, pay for it if you want to read it, you bastards, and webtoons too. Which is
I am
really funny.
100% of that mindset.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Pay
I'm
the
still-
fucking
I'm paying for webtoons like
pay
week to week.
creators.
I just like if I could have all of these anime on like a site that was dedicated to hosting like whatever depreciated like shows.
The
and
home for
rights.
lost anime.
Here's the
Right,
thing. is
like, that's all I
anything that
want.
doesn't have distribution rights, right? Anything that doesn't currently have active distribution rights, this would be a website where it's like, cool, we bought the distribution rights.
So here's the thing, right? If there's
and then it's
no
illegal.
if
they're
there's no
legally
like
doing it.
active distribution rights, then who the fuck's gonna come after you?
Exactly. Like that's
We're
the
gonna
thing, is, like,
start our own website with blackjack and hookers, and the Cowboy Bebop movie. Sunrise, don't come against us.
like
We have more power than you could possibly imagine.
like that's the thing. Is like if
Yeah.
if nobody has the legal distribution rights, you're probably fine. Except the copyright holders might.
The
come and
copyright
slap you.
holders might get upset about it, but I'll be honest, I haven't seen Bakano shit in years. So like, if we made a Bakano website that was called watchbakano.com, like
And uploaded all 16 episodes, we'd probably.
it
be fine.
uploaded all 16 episodes of Bakano to our own private video server, like we'd probably be fine.
It's just one of
We
those
might
moments
get a
where I'm upset
decent
about it.
assist.
We might get 1 or 2 cease and desists, but who doesn't have a good C and D? All right, so I do want to point out
Yes.
We spent a long time on this.
it has been 40 minutes and we have ended the news, but I feel like so I want to talk about games.
It's
Yeah,
a good
I wanna-
kickoff point, honestly.
I want to start with games. With a
Distribution
question,
rights. Good kickoff note.
you know what? Yeah, let's go to that one. I was going to go 50-50 on that or the other games things.
No, that's right. Cool.
So we're going to start with one that is near and dear to our hearts today.
Congratulations to Sony and Bungie on their partnership.
Yeah, the company that put Microsoft on the map is now a PlayStation studio.
Very funny.
that put Xbox on the map.
Yes.
Sony now owns Bungie and Microsoft owns Crash and Spyro, which is really weird to think about how times have changed. It turns out if you're a tenured game company that everyone hates, Microsoft wants to buy you. If you're a shooter, PlayStation wants you. And if you're a word game, you have to pray to God that the New York Times doesn't get your number.
I was gonna say, or that Zynga doesn't try and buy you.
Or no,
Well,
Zynga got
Zynga's-
bought.
Zynga got bought.
I know.
Yeah, but like, yeah, but
King
no, fair.
also got bought.
But I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
but that one's King's been bought for years.
I was gonna say Zynga was doing the buying for a while, and now they have been bought.
Do you remember when, like, after the Xbox One came out, like immediately after the Xbox One came out, the guy who was head of Xbox that like just ran
Royally fucked it.
Xbox into a fucking wall 8 times over?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like he jumped ship and became the president of Zynga
Yeah.
and basically said fuck you, and then Phil Spencer came on and now Microsoft is fucking sailing.
Yeah.
It's been 8 years and Microsoft is fucking destroying.
So
right
I don't.
now.
I have a
They're
hot
not destroying
take.
the competition, but they're doing amazing.
I have a hot take that's not a really hot take.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it's
Um,
at best lukewarm.
yeah, it's a lukewarm take. I am convinced Sony is doing this for IP rights and nothing else.
So I
Sony Pictures, Sony Entertainment, and now
so you bring up a
so
good
on.
point, but somebody else brought up a way better point.
Go ahead.
Sony doesn't have any games as a service.
That too. Yes. No, that's a very good one.
Sony
Yes.
Sony does not have a single games
Live
as a
service game,
service that
yeah.
they own. Now, do they have Fortnite on there? Yes. Do they have Call of Duty on there? Yes. But they don't own any game that's a consistent time
They
sink.
don't own a studio that does live service games.
You know what's really funny is
Mhm.
Yeah.
in Sony's acquisition notes.
Yeah.
That is the reason. Like that. That is the point that
to
they made of
bolster
why
games as a service.
Yeah, they bought Bungie, or they partnered with Bungie, so that they could improve their games as a service title list.
Yep.
And that they could have one of their own. And I find that really fucking
Also,
hilarious.
really quick,
I love that was the argument you guys went to, and it was like that was literally Sony's. That was Sony's.
I
reason.
didn't see
they
that part, but
publicly
yes.
announced it.
I have a question. What's the best shooter on PlayStation?
COD.
Not COD. Let's not go COD.
Are
COD's
we
too,
talk-
COD's
are
too
we
easy.
talking
What's the
about-
best shooter?
Are we talking about gunplay, or are we talking about experience?
What's the best shooter?
Again, gunplay or experience?
What's the best shooter?
I value those
Pick
two
which
things
one you
differently.
value. Just pick which one you value. the
I
most.
value experience. Destiny.
Okay.
Destiny's gunplay is not the best of the shooters that are on
Yes.
PlayStation.
Okay, so what's the best PlayStation exclusive shooter?
Good joke.
I don't think there is one.
Killzone. But you forgot about it. Because
That's
it's a
fair.
fucking footnote. Because the last Killzone game that came out was Killzone Shadowfall with the PlayStation 4. And I will tell you right now, I got a PlayStation 4 and that game did not last more than 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, Killzone Shadowfall isn't a game.
Yeah.
It's a movie. And
it's not even it's not even like that. It's like a worse Crisis. Like I
That's fair.
don't know a better way to like really say
I-
it. Like
complete tangent.
Yeah.
On the topic of Crisis, I fucking love Crisis.
Crisis is great.
I'm sorry, you brought it
I've
up.
never finished a Crisis game.
I
I
played
haven't either.
I played all of Crisis 3 in 24 hours. I beat the whole fucking game in 24 hours, and I did not sleep when it came out.
I feel like he like came out of his room and his eyes were wide, and then there was like all of his skin was white except for this area was blood red, and like he had like
Are-
some weird facial structure.
I fucking love Crisis.
Crisis is good.
It's a
So,
very fun game.
But to Nate's point,
sorry.
they don't have
Sony
any
doesn't
shooters on
have-
their lineup.
Sony has no good shooters. The best shooter that they had was Destiny, and that's because Bungie is amazing at making shooters.
Yeah.
And
It's
we
not even just that. They are one of the only studios ever to make a functioning, long-standing games as a live service game.
Yeah, no, they
Period.
they really fucking did.
Yeah.
The other notable ones being like World of Warcraft, and it's
Imagine-
games as a service. It is
Yeah.
games as a service. MMOs are games as a service.
Yeah. WoW.
Right.
WoW has been a game as a service for the last 20 years.
But that was under
Blizz was.
Activision Blizzard.
Yes.
So
Yes,
But that-
absolutely.
But that's what we're saying.
But
like,
I'm saying that they're not the only ones that have done it.
well,
because-
yes, that's fair.
But you're absolutely right. And like also not only that, but Bungie not only reinvented the wheel when they made Halo, they reinvented it again when they made Destiny.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not to say that like, oh my God, these games are fucking groundbreaking, but like Halo, when it came out, was a revolutionary shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Destiny, when it came out, was taking the best of every other game and putting it together.
Yeah.
Now,
Properly, mind you,
yes.
because people tried and failed.
and so now every video game that you see that you play that's like, oh yeah, I am character X, Y, or Z with my primary ability, secondary ability, and ultimate ability. It's because Destiny kind of perfected that archetype, if we're honest, in the shooter format.
Right.
I will
Oh
say.
yeah.
Specifically in the shooter format, because that archetype has existed since Dota.
I was gonna say that,
Yeah.
and Bungie did it with Reach
Yeah,
before they even like left to do anything else and made Destiny.
but like
Reach was incredible.
Reach was their
Reach-
testing ground
Right.
for
Reach was their testing ground for a new engine. ODST was their testing ground for an open world. I love
Both
Reach,
of those
by
are
the way.
great.
Reach is my favorite Halo game. ODST holds a special spot in my heart as well, regardless of the
Great
fact.
story. My favorite story.
You know, I've never technically finished it.
It's incredible.
Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because I played it on Legendary. No.
No,
We'll
that's
get
completely
valid.
valid. That's
No,
so
I was
valid.
gonna
I
get.
have never finished it on.
So here's the thing. I was playing it on Legendary,
Right.
and I made it to the point where you finish all the open world missions.
Yeah.
The problem is that the game didn't have a good save system. So if you selected a mission, it would remove your mission progress. So I selected the mission that I was on, hit
Yeah.
continue, but it removed my progress of finishing the other 3 missions. And I think I was turning on a skull or something, like something that stupid. And I lost all that progress. And I was like, I had all the quests done, and I just cannot be bothered to do it again. I just went back to play Halo 3 multiplayer.
That's
Like, actually, no, I did finish Halo 3 ODST way later. Not on Legendary though. I did it through the Master Chief Collection because it was just like it's in a straight line. It has to be.
I want to point out too, as we also talk about the breadth of like studio setup as well.
Mhm.
Bungie is also historically not just like innovative and creative, but takes the little things and makes them better.
Mhm.
Like again, back to the sound design point that we kind of had earlier in the show.
Listen,
Bungie's sound design is second to none.
Yeah,
I have played a lot of games. Like you played a lot of games.
Listen,
You know, like
I
combined
can
between
say
the 3 of us, we probably have like
I can say
50
that
years.
I can say that Destiny has like my favorite shooting mechanics, right?
Yeah,
I can say
yeah.
that Destiny has my favorite power fantasy, right? But the only thing I can unequivocally say that it is the best at is sound design.
Yeah.
There's no other game that comes close.
Here's the thing.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. No, it's a
I
good
have
point.
never experienced a moment of just sheer joy the way I did in Destiny 1 hearing the vault open as you were going in to fight timekeepers.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, when Deep
Dude, the
Stone Crit
Oracle-
starts to play
Or
after an
the
Ajax fight.
or the low guttural laugh of the Taken King as he rises in his realm to defeat
even
you one last time.
I'm gonna take
Yeah.
it even one better.
Go.
Rasputin.
Oh, sorry. That's not.
No, I'm just saying though, like his voice, the way they did his like I am talking without actually speaking, like very much like I mean, you guys remember Meet the Robinsons?
Yeah.
Like with the T-Rex? Like you have no idea what he's saying,
It is
except you
actually
know what you're
Russian.
saying.
He is actually speaking in Russian though.
Right?
Yeah.
But like the sound it makes, you understand even if you don't know the language. You know what I mean?
you can pick up the tone
And so through all of those things where you get to these insanely well done pieces of sonic identity.
I prefer Shadow, but yeah.
I love, by the way, did you ever play the Shadow the Hedgehog game on PlayStation 2?
Oh god, that game was fucking
No, but Sonic Adventures 2 is only $2 right now on Steam.
It is.
Yeah.
The Shadow the Hedgehog game, dog shit. Fun as
He
heck to
just
play.
shoots people. He just has a fucking gun. He's like Sonic.
16 running around. It's great.
It's
Anyway.
literally so the Sonic the Hedgehog game is I'm Sonic, guys. I'm running around in 3D space and I'm fast. And it's like, wow, Shadow, you're not as fast. Yeah, I have rocket shoes. And it's like, okay, what's your power? Gun.
No, I Shadow is my favorite character. But
Oh, same. But
We're-
back to the sound design point. Like everything that they touch in those little manners of like allowing their team to do X for the benefit of the game as a whole. You know what I mean? Like when they were like, cool, we're moving content from the Destiny content vault. Like we're pulling out like missions and stuff. Everybody's like, oh no. But like it's made a better game.
It's Bungie has misstepped in a lot of places.
Yeah.
I will never be the one to defend every decision that they've made,
No.
even though I enter everyone with cautious optimism. which has turned out very well sometimes and very unfortunately others.
Right.
Sunsetting, people disliked it. It wasn't good. I think that the end result of it is good, regardless of what people fight, because I
Yeah.
think that some of those guns needed to be removed from the game, and
I
doing it in a blanket system is easier and ends up with less angry emails than you killed my favorite gun for no reason.
Yeah, the sunsetting system that they came up with first, I wasn't against it. I understood why they were doing it.
Yeah.
And as someone who 100%, like, I did my mountaintop, I did my recluse, I did my revoker.
Mhm.
I hated mountaintop.
Well,
Like,
so
I
here's the
hated the
thing.
meta that it created.
Like I had all those guns. I had Luna's Howl. I had Not Forgotten. Like, and then, but it's the thing is like it makes an unfun meta, because what ended up happening by the time that sunsetting was coming around, and people will argue against this because they want to clutch their pearls, whatever, shut the fuck up. The point being, like, you load into a game and you are playing against someone that is running either Revoker or Mountaintop. Now, it doesn't matter which one, because either way, you're taking damage or they're just not losing shots. It doesn't fucking matter. And then on top of that, if you're not getting immediately outdone by the Mountaintop, you're getting slash Revoker, you're getting outdone by the Not Forgotten that they have stashed in the secondary slot.
Or their recluse.
Or the Recluse.
Which, that gun was never balanced.
No, it never was. It was an exotic in a legendary slot.
Yeah, and everyone was like, when people realized that Teraba was good, that it's just a slightly worse
It's slightly worse Recluse.
recluse is still fucking good.
Yeah, no, it
Like, it's really good.
the problem is that it's one of those guns that you have to kill with before it becomes good.
Yeah,
But like, and the thing that made Recluse so good was
You
it
didn't.
wasn't.
you didn't have to do that. But that was the balanced way of making recluse fair.
Yeah.
Was
And
if you got a kill with it, sure, then it was broken.
are you
The
ready for
point
me to
being-
say something that I've never said before?
Go ahead.
As much as I like Destiny, let's talk about literally anything else.
Okay. So speaking of,
getting to?
Well, I wasn't necessarily going to go there. I was just going to go to the point of
I-
like
I
the
did
fact
wanna
that Sony has acquired a developer, which is always at the forefront of the industry in terms of, let's say, company
Multiple
culture,
community awards.
like multiple community awards, probably the best community service team. Like if we're talking about Cosmo, Damage, like the list,
One
even
of,
back
if
when
not the
Deed was
best,
doing it,
one
right?
of, if not the best shooter studios of the last 15, 20 years.
And so we
Yeah.
get to all of that, and I still think, even though they said it's for live service games, there's 2 points. Is I still think it's to collaborate with all their other industry sets and IPs, because there is zero way after Microsoft puts out, hey, congratulations, Halo's getting shit, that Sony, who owns Sony Pictures and Sony Television, doesn't do something with it in terms of a global IP sense.
So here's the thing. I 100% disagree with you solely on the fact of who's at the top of Sony right now.
It's a great question.
Yeah.
I don't
there's
know.
Old people who don't give a shit about that.
That's fair.
Do you know why there was not an Amazing Spider-Man 3?
Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like they're
old people that got a little,
they got
their panties-
salty.
they
They
got
got
butthurt.
salty that Andrew Garfield didn't show up to a dinner.
Yes.
And like
Side note,
that's all.
That he's in talks to get his third movie.
Yeah. So
already.
who's Tobey Maguire?
Tobey Maguire getting a fourth movie. August.
Toby's also getting into, like
He's in talks. He's in.
Everybody's in talks. Frank was talking about, just real quick, if you want to hear about comic stuff,
I know this because I edited
comics
it
on
today.
comics on Saturday at twitch.tv/RareDrop at noon. Frank was talking about it. He's like, Tom overplayed his hand, because he should have had like just solidified the contract negotiations before the movie came out, because then he would have been solid for the next set of like little mini trilogies. But now that he was running his mouth and didn't solidify anything before the movie came out, now that after the movie's out and the entire executive team at Sony and Marvel are like, oh, people really liked Andrew and Toby back. Like,
here's the
so
thing is,
anyway,
I want to make a quick point on that. I disagree with the argument that Tom should have done that. Tom has made it very clear that he does not want to continue to be Spider-Man for the rest of his life.
yes, agree.
So him not solidifying the contract might be his way to easily weasel out of being typecast as fucking Spider-Man for the rest
He's
of his
still
life.
doing 3 more movies.
Yeah, like,
Yes.
Here's the thing, Paul, is like
he doesn't.
when he's done with those movies, I might not even work at this fucking job. Like
Yes.
that,
Well,
that's
and the thing
so
is, he
far
has.
off.
If
and
you
that's
didn't
why-
know, Robert Downey Jr. is famous for calling him in the middle of contract negotiations and meetings and being like, kid, do this or cool your jets, because you're about to screw yourself over because of X, Y, and Z, because he's talking too much. So like, there's also some of that in there of like, Toby's young, let Toby be Toby. I hope he makes the right
Toby is
decisions.
not young.
Not Toby.
Tom.
Tom is young. let him make his proper mistakes and decisions so we can learn.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna
I
say,
just hope we still get good movies out of him.
if he continues to get dadded around by RDJ, he's never gonna fucking learn anything. He
Yes.
needs to make a mistake, and
Yes.
if this is his mistake, then good, make it.
Yes.
We are every podcast but ours right now.
It's
It's a
very
great time.
funny. So actually, I was
Back to anime. Go ahead.
so here's how I'm gonna bring us back to anime. Sony Acquisitions,
Yes.
and I saw a really interesting tweet today. In response to the hey, they bought Bungie. They were like, what if, in Sony's attempt to solidify their grasp on pretty much all Japanese media that's coming to the US. You good? Okay. What if they try and buy out Kadokawa? Kadokawa is the largest distributor of manga in the world.
So, you ready for why they don't need to?
Sure.
They already have Funimation and Crunchy. The US doesn't give a shit about manga.
False. Here's the thing. If they do that, Kadokawa is Bookwalker.
Mhm.
Kadokawa is also 12 Jump style magazines. Kadokawa also owns a large number of talent agencies that connect creators with Japanese companies for sponsorship. What that does is that gives them all of the control. Like they would have a ridiculous monopoly, but if you're Sony, that business decision is brilliant because they kill everyone else. They win the market by far because then they have all of the anime distribution rights. They have all of the licensing rights for every Kadokawa project, which by the way, Kadokawa makes up pretty much everything that isn't Shueisha.
Guys, I'm having a really
or Kodansha, which is like 2/3 of the anime that we watch.
So what who are you fighting for in the corporate wars?
Like I would not like to see them buy
I'm
out
not
Kodansha,
I don't want to
or
be team
Kadokawa,
I don't want to be Team Mystic, but Team Mystic now has they got Bungie, they got God of War, they got Spider-Man. Like I think I might have to be Team Mystic.
I was like very confused where you were going with that for a second, and I thought about it and was like, oh, okay, got it.
Team Valor's got a bald guy at the front.
It's Team Valor.
Yellow. So I was doing Amazon. Yeah. You just know what I'm doing.
It's like Amazon?
I don't remember what the third team's name is, but hey,
Wait,
Amazon.
no. Is Valor red?
No.
Valor might be red.
I think Valor's
And then
red.
that's-
No. What's yellow?
That's
then?
AMD. Valor's AMD, I guess.
No,
No,
nobody
Valor-
wants to be AMD.
No, Valor is Nintendo.
Oh, that's fair. No, that's fair.
yellow. Oh, yellow. Oh, God damn.
I'm here for
Mystic is blue.
Mystic is 100% blue.
absolutely.
Do you like how we all know that one, but nobody gives a shit about the other two team names?
No, I'm
You know
pretty
what's
sure it was
Team
Valor. That's
Mystic.
why.
You know what's really funny is I was
What?
on the yellow team. I know that because I like Zapdos.
It was like a
better than
weird
Yellow.
intelligent name thingy, like related to
Okay,
intelligence, right?
Instinct,
Yeah, that's why I-
Instinct, and
It's
Valor.
I. There you go.
So
Instinct.
Instinct is
I.
How is that
Amazon.
related to intelligence whatsoever?
I don't know. I think I just said it because it had an I in front of it. That's what.
So
It was an in something.
You're inting.
Yeah.
yeah, so I saw that tweet and I was like, you know what? I feel like that would be an interesting topic. And I was like, I would not like to see them do that, but if I was Sony, it's something I would be trying to do because then they have the market share.
So
yeah, that's the problem. So like
But here's the thing is,
when they
like,
become
I don't know
when they
what
stop
their-
becoming a corporation and they become a mega corporation, then suddenly they're gonna have their own militia, and we need to decide what team are we gonna be on. And I'm gonna be honest, I think they'll have the best sign-on bonuses.
I
I'm reading chat, damn it!
I have read chat multiple times. I just
I'm
might
trying
not-
to transition off of this topic.
we can talk about
so real quick.
I had two other things that I wanted to talk about. One being the slew of games.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
I
let's
was
talk
gonna
about
go
that.
there next. Is
It's-
we're getting solo leveling.
I wanted to get anime becoming games and games becoming anime.
which is
Those are the two things I wanted to talk about, and we're an hour in.
it's fine.
So
It'll be
let's
fine.
just start with the solo leveling game real quick.
Let's start with the game. Okay. So as we've talked about so many announcements today,
Yeah.
there have been a lot of game announcements this week, specifically from what's the company called?
I will go find it really quick.
Specifically from a Korean game development company. They are well known for doing Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross, which is a mobile game. And so
Which is Genshin Impact, but
no, it's not.
no. Oh, you think I'm thinking?
I'm talking about the game they've already released.
Okay.
But they have announced 3 new games as of earlier last week.
Yeah.
They announced a Seven Deadly Sins open world console and mobile game.
Yes.
It is very, very akin to Genshin Impact. It looks similar. It plays similar. It has quests. It has open areas. It has climbing. It has swimming. It has stamina bars. It looks like Seven Deadly Sins of the Wild. It looks like Breath of the Waifu, but an actual anime. So it does look really good as well. They do their own stylistic stuff that makes it look more like Seven Deadly Sins. It's a lot curlier. I think that's the best way I could say it.
Curly is a great.
Yeah.
Is that a very good adjective for it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks very, very good. On top of that, this same game development company also announced a Tower of God mobile and PC game.
It's Netmarble.
Netmarble, thank you.
Oh my.
I
God.
knew Net, and I didn't remember the second word. Netmarble.
Because they made Grand Cross. That's why.
That's
why they had the
made Grand
rights to
Cross.
it.
So they are making a Tower of God mobile game as well. This one appears to be some sort of gacha style. A Genshin advertisement just came up. I have auto ads running, so
I love that. It's fucking hilarious.
it's very funny. I have been playing Genshin recently, but so a Tower of God mobile game that looks to be some sort of auto battler, which is really interesting to me. I don't know exactly how they're gonna do it. It definitely is something that I would like to see.
I'm just excited.
We're gonna play it when it comes out, regardless, simply because it is, well, it's Tower of God, and we're all simps.
I
for
love
that.
Tower.
Yeah.
It's just
Tower's
one of those IPs that just remind, and I've said this before on other things. It is very much like Lord of the Rings to me in scale, and feel. And so like we're getting a auto battler that theoretically lets the whole universe breathe as you go through it. Where like you're fighting cool people or doing cool things.
Yeah, and what was so interesting to me about the trailer for the game, because we don't really know what type of game it's going to be. It could be like a duo style combat game, like the JoJo's game, or it could be an auto battler, which is that's what my money's on.
Yeah,
is some form of auto battler, and I'd be okay with that. But if you watch the trailer, they animate White, which is a character that's only introduced at the end of the Hell Train, which is the end of season 2 of the webtoon. Season 2 of the webtoon being 4 times as long as season 1.
Literally.
A little over.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
He's not quite at the end.
He's introduced at the end of the Hell Train, or partway through the Hell Train.
Yeah, which is.
But so point being, they also showed Endorsi with Bonbon. They showed,
which is during the
it's Hell Train and post. It's Name Change Station is when she gets Bonbon, or when we're shown her having Bonbon.
Yeah.
Basically they showed a lot of later details in Tower of God, in the Tower of God universe, stuff that's really, really exciting for us webtoon readers, and we are very, very excited to get our hands on it and play it. And last but not least, definitely the most exciting of the 3 announcements was the solo leveling game. This is a mobile PC game that is announced from the same company. So you have a Genshin game and auto battler, and this looks to be akin to something like Honkai Impact 3rd, where you're in an arena fighting as a specific character. It doesn't look to be open world or dungeon crawly, which I would love if it was, but it looks more to be like a boss or scenario based combat game. But it shows you fighting as Sung Jin Woo. It shows you fighting as Cha. It shows you fighting as, what's the other one?
I'd have to look
that
really
archer
quick.
one that I don't remember. It shows you playing as Fireboy.
It shows Bayek as well with his giant tiger form.
Yeah, like it shows a lot of different playable characters.
Yeah.
And with solo leveling being a finished webtoon, they have a whole lot to pull from. They have a very interesting world to pull from. They have a lot of story to grab because, as previously stated, Cha doesn't show up until later. So
yeah, she shows up like halfway through the story.
She shows up halfway through and doesn't fight until like
because she doesn't.
Island.
Yeah, she doesn't show up until after he's going into that gate himself.
Which is pretty early on. I think it's in like chapter 4, like 30 to 40 or something.
Yeah, she shows up,
but then she doesn't fight until the outfit that they show isn't her until he goes into the second room.
She is in it actually.
Really?
Yeah, in that first time that she goes in.
Oh, you're
they
right.
go
You're
in,
right, right, right.
And when she actually meets him there as well.
Yeah.
But the point being is that she doesn't become an actual character until like 60, 70.
Yeah.
At which point she becomes a main character of the entire series, is beloved by all of us, is amazing. But we're getting later tier characters, which is what's so interesting.
and
And
they
like you said,
also-
Bayek, which we
Yeah.
didn't get him until after the Red Gate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well, and not even just that. If you see like some of the gameplay is like story elements too, because like one of the fights
They
was
showed
him fighting
Cerberus.
the orcs.
yeah, they showed
He's
him
doing it-
summoning specific characters as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, as his shadows. So
Which is very cool.
He says "arise" in Korean, and it's
very hot.
It's hot.
This game, I think this game might be the anime game style of One Piece Pirate Warriors.
I'm hoping it's a little bit more Devil May Cry.
It looks a lot like Devil May Cry. I'm thinking it's going to look like that in terms of setup, but
Right.
the enemies won't be kill 8,000. It'll be kill 8.
Yeah.
That's more along the lines of what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But
it's a more reasonable version of Pirate Warriors in that sense.
Yeah.
That's what we're hoping
what
for.
would be really interesting and what I'd love to see more than anything is to have one of those levels where you do fight a bunch of small fries,
Well,
but you're
there's-
playing as Sung Jin
I want to see
and
him
if
go
you
through
kill
the
a bunch of them, then you get to do a rise.
I want to
yeah,
see
because
go through the
some of them-
demon world. Like if they're doing a story linearly, there's plenty of those moments.
They
like-
showed moments from the Demon Tower.
yeah, so like you'd play through the demon tower, you'd fight like a whole horde when you meet the demon princess. Like you have
Yeah.
like, there's
Oh
so many
my
good
god, if
times.
they make this a game where we have options, can I seduce the Demon Princess?
Finally get the ship that we wanted.
Finally.
It's a great moment.
I
great-
She's
I
one of the
was
best
so
characters, and I'm so glad that sorry, I said glad, I meant sad that she got deleted.
yeah. I
um,
kind of Pepe hands.
Deleted is a very broad term that
She just didn't show up again.
It's not 1-to-1 with the. She didn't like die or anything.
She just doesn't show up anymore.
She stopped being relevant. So
Which is very
hands.
much kind of a
no, she stopped being relevant in the same way that Far Cry 4 stopped being relevant when I turned off my Xbox years ago.
Oh, I
Okay?
was gonna say she was relevant the same way that the Hyuga family was relevant in OG Naruto. Is you get there and you're like, ah, look, strong, they can do things, and like 40 chapters later, you're like, yeah, they don't matter anymore. Like just
Well,
beasts.
it's this point of she's a very important character, but she exists in a fucking pocket dimension that he never visits again.
Yeah.
So like that's why I'm like the moment I turned off my Xbox and stopped playing the game, the connection I had with the world was gone. Was it an amazing connection and did I enjoy it? Absolutely, but I
Right.
turned it off and didn't go back, and it's like,
I'm just hoping for a good game.
absolutely.
Like I
absolutely.
like that is the kind of game that like I will sit down and probably replay through like 2 or 3 times.
What I'd love more than anything is for these games to have good storytelling. And speaking of games that have good storytelling, have either of you two ever played Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy. It's not like we play a Dungeons and Dragons campaign together or anything.
Nope.
No.
But have you heard of
dragons.
okay, so there's a voice actor. He's not very well known. His name is Matthew Mercer.
I
Yeah,
was
okay.
I was gonna say, is it Clat Clerser or is it Matt Mercer?
No, that's actually his cousin.
Oh, okay.
So Matt famous for he's a clog designer in Germany.
Yeah.
Very well known. Thousands of dollars just to get in the door. They say that he can taste your soul.
Matt Mercer. You mean the anime dub voice actor?
You mean Pilot Jack Cooper?
I'm just in pain.
You mean Human Guardian #2? Yeah, so Critical Role, Matt Mercer's campaign, put up a Kickstarter a few years ago to create an animated series. It broke records. It broke Kickstarter records for being funded fast enough, for raising enough money. I believe they raised $12 million over their $1 million goal to fund an animated series. That's a lot of money. They got it picked up by Amazon. It's being animated by Titmouse, and the first 3 episodes are available on Amazon Prime as of this week.
Yeah.
The Legends of Vox Machina. And so for people like me who never really watched the campaign or never really stuck with it, and I mean, honestly, this stuff happens before the campaign. I know more about Critical Role now than I did like a week ago because, like, I mean, honestly, like my girlfriend has seen all 3 episodes of it 4 times, which means I've seen all 3 episodes of it 3 times.
I would like to say that I've been good and watched it, but it's just
It has the Dota's Dragon's Blood problem,
yeah, and we talked about that.
which
and
is the 2D animation is great, and all of the
Yeah.
times that they do it, specifically at the very end of episode 3, there's a fight with the Briarwoods, and it's amazing. And it's Matt Mercer's self-insert for this part of it, because he's going to be I think he has a cameo character every episode,
Yeah,
but he also voices characters.
which makes sense.
Silas Briarwood being one of the main characters of the campaign that he is voicing, one of the main antagonists.
Yeah,
But so the character is introduced, and they have an awesome fight scene at the end of episode 3. It's very well done. The problem is that the first 2 episodes are based around dragon. They did not have the budget for the dragon.
that's totally fair. $12 million with all of the stuff that had to go
The
into it. There's not
I
enough
will
money for the
say,
budget.
Dragon looked a lot better than a lot of other 3D dragons out there. Looking at you, Overlord.
So I want to point out, Dota did the same thing. The Dota Dragon's Blood.
Yeah.
If I remember, it's the same.
They had a
same
3D. They had a
company.
3D dragon. Dota did have a lot more 3D than that as well.
There was a couple
uh,
more things, but not too much more. Like it was mostly the giant ass creatures
Yeah.
and the dragons.
Yeah, which is
and it's interesting because when you put the dragons by themselves in their little circle, look great. It's just the moment you put the dragons
it's
in
the
the
moment
2D.
it's the moment that you have things moving at different frame rates, different consistencies.
Yeah.
And it's one of the places we've been seeing it a lot is Attack on Titan, which we're not really going to talk about this week because
It actually looks pretty good, but
it's
continue.
what
It actually looks pretty good.
it does look Attack on Titan. It looks really good, but the difference is that when something is 2D versus 3D animated, you can tell that it's been rigged. You can tell that it's been moved. I said that like it was like that was cheating. No, rigging is a thing that you do to a model so that you can make it move. I don't want it to sound like they're stealing the election or some shit. But
Rigging is a very important part of working with 2D and 3D models.
it is also my least favorite part of working with 2D
Oh,
and
it's
or
the
3D
worst.
models. It is actually just
It is the
Rigging is
worst.
the reason I don't currently have a VTuber model.
I want to point out one of the original conversations I had before working here was, yeah, do you know 3D? Yeah, would you be willing to rig stuff? And then I just said, or I think Max was asking me about information on 3D and 3D modeling and stuff because we were looking at some Unreal stuff, and Max was like, "Are you good at rigging?" And I was like, "I can do it. I know how to do it. I've done it properly,
But I hate
I hate it, and if I had the choice, I would never do it." And he said, "Okay, was there anybody in your class who rigging was their favorite thing?" And I said, "No," because it's awful.
It's
You have to build bone structures, and if you do it slightly wrong, you are just screwed. But
you have to go
you
back
can
and start.
you can tell that their movements are a lot smoother. There's a lot less squash and stretch. A lot of the 12 principles of animation don't exist with 3D, which is what makes it
Yeah.
really weird.
So you should just have a whole post show dedicated to that topic
The 3D in anime.
and the 12 rules of animation and why 3D anime.
I
traditionally is bad.
I think that like me and Tim can have like a fireside chat about the principles of animation, and he can ask me about them and I can explain them in ways, and I can talk about how they work and why AI and 3D spit in the face of them and why they have a place, but it's only in their corner and not in ours.
I would love to record that. We could do that.
That'd be great.
That'd be pretty fun. Just because like I've taken classes on this. I'm not an expert by any means, but I have a decent amount of knowledge and I like talking about it because this is stuff that I really care about. But
cool stuff too.
the
Yeah,
3D
continue.
dragon was, I'd probably say, like season 4 part 1 Attack on Titan quality,
Which is
not
not bad.
it's not bad. No, it's not.
I-
I wasn't like, you can ask Kat, I wasn't actively revolting. I did watch the episodes 3 times, but it's
Yeah.
something that for me is easily noticeable. It sticks out, and you can tell when something kind of moves differently than the animated stuff. And the way that you can see that in Attack on Titan is there's a very long sequence of Eren trying to walk down a single fucking street in Shiganshina. Just trying to walk down the street as a Titan, and you see a lot of movements of him walking, and you can see, okay, the shoulder's moving, and like it's slotted into the shoulder, you know? There's not like
Yeah.
there's not that squash and stretch. It doesn't feel like it's 2D animated. It's just like it's very fluid.
Yeah.
It looks like there's a lot of movement, and sometimes too much movement is a bad thing in these cases.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
And when the whole world doesn't do it, that's part of the main
that
problem.
it's the jarringness between two things that don't fit together. It's like
for example, in Arcane, because it's all the same thing, it works.
yes, it's Arcane is Arcane is the gold fucking standard of 3D animated series. They did hand painted textures on everything, so it looked very well done and it looked painted, but it was 3D animated with 3D motion and it fit in a 3D world. But they used 2D effects. It feels like they split it perfectly. But we do need to also remember that Riot did this in-house. They spent a lot of money on it. They spent a lot. They spent 7 fucking years on Arcane Season 1.
Can I point out something too, that in case like even more little details about Arcane that people didn't?
Also, Kat, don't apologize. I enjoyed watching it.
Caitlyn's eyes dilate when looking at Vi.
Yeah. Like
those things that people will be like,
they had the most human details.
Yeah,
and so it's just to another point. That's why hand animation will always be the highest quality of animation, because regardless of what you put into a computer, it cannot pick up on those tiny details. And granted, I wouldn't pick up on those details when I'm first like making something.
Yeah.
But these people look over it 5, 6, 7, 20 times, and that's why they're masters of their craft. That's why I'm not in that seat, and that's why they are.
Yeah. I think it also has to do with like this weird sense of like, even in anime, we also don't get what I would like to say natural human behavior sometimes, because we don't think about it occurring when it does occur. Like for example, I wouldn't naturally just casually go, oh, Caitlyn's looking at Vi, like her pupil should naturally dilate because she's looking at somebody she cares about. Like, as much as I go, oh, they like each other, oh, like they are friends and they have a relationship and they obviously care for each other, like my brain, when I'm thinking about it story linearly, goes, that's a thing you tell with the story. And they go, no.
Well, so
I'm showing you with the eye.
Also, this is what's so interesting. So animation is and has always been about show don't tell.
Right.
That's the whole point of it. It's a visual medium. You're supposed to show, you're not supposed to tell. If someone's supposed to be shot, you put a gun on the table, you know?
Yeah.
Chekhov's gun. But what has happened more and more often recently, with animation being more and more higher quality with better details, is you get that show don't tell of the main sequence, but then you can also do it with these other incredibly tiny details that you wouldn't do otherwise. And a lot of that's only capable due to new technology.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about it before, but like Pixar creates new tech with every single film that they animate, because they just are constantly pushing the boundaries.
Yeah.
New tech has come out in Maya and 3DS and all
Unreal.
Unreal 5 is fucking insane.
I'm so excited.
Talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
So, Paul, have you watched any of Legend of Vox Machina?
No, I haven't yet.
You guys should both watch it.
Yeah, I have a project for myself this week once I'm done with some of the stuff that I've been working on. Where I'm gonna like get caught up on everything that I should have seen in the last year.
That's good. I feel really good because I'm caught up on Attack on Titan and I'm caught up on Legend of Vox Machina. And you know what? I can sit there and be like, yes, I'm doing this. I also started catching up on Demon Slayer. I'm not, but I started.
Okay, so because
these
I
last two
promised Jada
episodes,
that we
great.
would talk about Demon Slayer.
Yes, we need to talk about
This is
Demon
how we're gonna
Slayer.
talk about Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer.
There are demons. They slay them. Yeah.
No.
This week's episode.
Yep. Just I want to point out,
It hits really hard.
Is this one of those tax fraud episodes?
oh yes,
This is absolutely a tax
Which
fraud
episode is Big Titty Nezuko?
you don't get that for a while.
Yeah, that's not happening.
like-
for
that's like
at
not- like
least
not-
another
Maybe
40 episodes.
I was gonna say at least
Dang
2
it.
seasons.
Dang it.
I would just want to point out our beloved shiny boy just shines. That's all I have to say. Is like
I can't stop twinkling.
I
The
can't.
Hashira. Actually, this is the episode where if you didn't get why people like him, this is the episode. Here it is. We found it.
I get it. You know what? I saw his VODs. He shaves his balls on Twitch.
Oh my god.
Oh, that was a thing this week, wasn't it? God.
I had to on that one.
I want to say
and I'm
I want to say
sorry.
one more fun thing about Demon Slayer, which is if you have not started on the train, you should probably get on now, because it is only going to be this good and better as we keep moving forward. Because like and for Tim and I, the manga keeps slapping all the way to the end. Like
There are
it
people
gets
that hate the
better than
ending,
this.
which is really funny to me.
Well, I get hating the ending, right? but until you get to that ending, like where it actually finito, right? You know what I'm saying? Like everything up until that point just keeps getting better and better and crazier and cooler and better. Like the storytelling gets better, like the fights get better. Like
I cannot wait to see them animate Upper Rank 1.
Upper Rank 1
Upper Rank 1 is going to blow people's minds.
I don't think people. I think even seeing Akaza's second fight, like there is something to be. I can't get too deep.
Yeah, and that's why
It's just all of the Upper Rank 4 are incredible. Some great storytelling and some great abilities that we get to show off, and our Hashira and main cast, when you get to that point, equal them in terms of story and content.
what you guys are seeing from Daki this week and in the coming weeks of season 2 is the bare bones version of what to expect
For the rest of the
for
series.
the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
From the villains.
Yes. Go ahead.
I was participating. But boys, we've been here for a while.
That's very true.
We've actually been going. This has been a very good
Straight through episode, actually.
Straight through. We are not doing a poster this week simply because I'm having some surgery and stuff this week, and
Yeah.
I have to spend more time preparing and feeling better and not recording. So I don't really have time for that today. And our other schedules don't really line up with it anyways, but I'm taking the fall. Me and Tim will try to record a fireside chat about the principles of animation on Wednesday if I get out of bed. If I get out of bed after getting back in bed.
Well, to
Yeah.
be fair,
I was going to
we
say
also have a secondary plan that we may release.
We have a secondary plan that we might follow through with, but regardless of that, everybody tunes in this to this show for one reason and one reason only.
It's the light novel.
it's light novel time,
What's
right?
that light novel? Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's pretty near and dear to some of our hearts. I think this is a Tim novel.
All right.
Okay.
Is this a novel I have read? Is that why you're saying that?
No, this is a novel that you have lived.
Oh fuck.
What the hell? The menace who bullied me since I was 6 years old actually became a pretty girl after living apart for 3 years? She even agreed to our dual location to confess to me, hoping that I can become her boyfriend. This is a plot against me. There's definitely an enormous conspiracy behind this. I won't be fooled by you. Even if you tear up and act all pitiful, I will still disregard and humiliate you until you've completely paid back all of my childhood grievances. What are you looking at? There are very reasonable grounds for bullying a girl. I am not going to be bullied by a girl.
Okay. It is. Wow. Wow. Okay. Why?
I'm gonna read chat here, and I quote our lovely friend Zod. It's Tim, the light novel. We did it.
It's not. I just like
It's honestly, when you were like, "This is Tim the light novel," I was like, "Okay," and then you started to read the description, and I was like, "Wow, that's really fucking hilarious." Wow, I can totally see why they think this is me, but I don't hold that much of a grievance with anyone.
see, I do hold that much of a grievance with people, but the fantasy part for me is a girl telling me that she likes me.
Oh, I was gonna say, wait a minute, I've never experienced that either, so don't give me that shit.
God, I love you.
Somebody's in the doghouse
I
tonight.
said out loud. Listen. Okay, I have her Apple Watch. It's fine.
As the single one in the group, hoggers, I can say whatever I want.
Listen.
Okay. No. Cat, please don't leave.
You're about to have a hard time recovering on Wednesday.
Oh,
No,
audio
let somebody
listeners,
take care of it.
Oh, Tim's taking care of me on Wednesday.
Nate's
Actually,
girlfriend
that's the wrong
just
thing to
clapped
say.
back with, "Okay, I'm out."
Yeah, and honestly, fair. Babe, I tried so hard to railroad that conversation into Critical Role for you. You have no idea.
He really did.
He really did.
I went for it.
I resisted so much because I was like, I have nothing to do.
He rolled a nat 20 on his fucking on his wisdom check. That was a wisdom check? That was a wisdom check.
Something like that.
But
On that note,
Charisma check.
because we do have to get out of
Just warning
here
you not to.
and take care of things and rest up and make sure Nate's good for this week, and then also probably do a quick little fun recording thing the next couple of days.
maybe.
We're gonna scoot.
Yeah,
I Love Mondays, otherwise known as Paul. You can find me on socials at I_love_Mondays, MUNDOIS. That's Nate, otherwise known as Comfamous. You can find him at Comfamous, literally everywhere, except for TikTok, and that's Comfamous TV. but
yeah,
he
but
doesn't
we
do
don't
anything
we
there.
don't talk about that.
And
I'm also
then-
gonna throw my own voice on here for the audio listeners, and then Tim.
I'm Tim, otherwise known as Syndaxatrix,
So
SYNDAXATRAX. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch. And you can find us, Studio Blank, at Studio Blank Pod on Twitter, patreon.com/Studio Blank, and at Studio Blank Pod on Twitch.
On Twitch. Yep, all the things. Otherwise,
Otherwise,
be a
that's
good
been
time.
us for
I'm sorry.
Studio Blank
listen,
episode
listen,
70.
Nate's trying to keep his
So-
relationship. We'll see y'all for episode 71 next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.